to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there. Thank you very much.
My name is Nina Rhodes-Hughes. I do not believe that Sirhan Sirhan was the only shooter, no. I do believe there were two shooters. Yes, I do.
If there's a doctor in the house, I want to see him right here.
The FBI came to my house about 3 weeks after the assassination. They interviewed me. The way they handled the account of my story was what I believe is the way they wanted to close the case with whatever evidence that they wanted to present, and certainly not what I told them or from what I understand. Many other people told them the same story, but I think that whatever the purpose was, if there was whoever or whatever was behind this, did not want the truth to come out. And I do really feel comfortable saying that. What brought me forward was a phone call that I got in this year in March from a gentleman named Brad Johnson at CNN. And he asked me if I was the Nina Rhodes who was at the Ambassador Hotel the night that the senator was shot. And it took my breath away because it had been so long. I thought it had been kind of just left alone. I said, yes, I was. And that began a series of interviews between Brad Johnson and Mike Martinez of CNN, rather in-depth interviews with great detail, great attention to detail and fact, so that it was all brought out properly. And I volunteered to do that because I felt that the conclusion was terribly erroneous and unfair. The evening of June 4th, I was invited by the staff of Senator Kennedy, because I was in his campaign raising funds, to celebrate the anticipated victory.
I just want to tell you to be patient for a few minutes more, because Senator Kennedy is going to come down here in about 10-15 minutes, so just be patient. Well, I mean, you had to wait for the votes to be counted first, didn't you? But he's coming down.
And I was given the privilege of bringing the senator, after his victory speech, down from the podium over to my right, which was the Pierre Salinger press room.
So I thank all of you who made this possible this evening. All of the effort that you made, and all of the people whose names I haven't mentioned, but who did all of the work at the precinct level, who got out the vote, who did all of the efforts, brought forth all of the efforts that's required. I was a campaign manager 8 years ago. I know what a difference that kind of an effort and that kind of commitment makes. So I thank all of you. Those of you who are here.
I was facing, from backstage, I was facing the podium. So to my right is the Pierre Salinger press room, and to my left is the Colonial room, which was another press room.
So my thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there. Thank you very much.
And as he started to come down from the platform after his victory speech, I was anticipating greeting him, and suddenly he was turned quite forcefully by this gentleman, very tall blonde gentleman in a tuxedo, in the opposite direction, which was, totally wrong. So I I ran after him, the senator, and this gentleman who I had no idea who he was. I'd never seen him before. And of course, the entourage that was on the stage with the senator followed suit. And I started to shout after them, no, no, that's the wrong way. It's the wrong way, because I knew that the press conference that Pierre Salinger had set up was waiting to my right. But I proceeded to my left, pursuing the senator and to make sure that he got back to where he was supposed to be. As I was chasing after the senator to bring him back to the Pierre Salinger press room in lieu of the Colonial press room, I noticed that the senator had stopped to say hello to some kitchen staff, and then he turned to his left to do that. And then I was 6 to 7 feet in back of him. And then he turned back and was ushered again to my right, towards what they now call the Colonial press room, the Colonial room. And then I heard the pop, 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 and I was looking at the senator, but then the sound of the first 2 or 3 shots I thought were flashbulbs from a camera. And then I realized that there was a gunman, and later identified as Sirhan, and he was standing up by a stainless steel table that later I found out was a steam table. And suddenly Rayford Johnson and Rosie Greer and a bunch of other people rushed towards him. And what I saw was his waist and his jacket, which was powder blue. And he, as they reached for him to subdue him, he twisted to his left and bent over. And but shots were continuing to my right in a much more rapid fire, and a different sound, like a deeper sound, a different gunshot sound. And I looked over towards the senator, and then he disappeared from my sight, and he fell. And I was about 6 to 7 feet away from him, and I saw him on the floor. And during that time, there was tremendous mayhem. I ducked because there were shots just flying, and I ducked, and I saw a man slide down the wall, who I assumed was shot at that time. And after I saw the senator fallen, I fainted, and it was just too much, to see that. And when I came to, and I really don't know how long I was out. Could have been a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I have no idea. But my dress had evidently been spilled upon. My shoe was gone. The belt of my dress was gone. I assumed that I had been trampled from people running back towards where the stage and the Salinger press room was for their safety. I was trampled. And when I came to, I stood up, and I saw the senator lying there with Ethel Kennedy kneeling at his side, comforting him. And I screamed before that when I saw the senator go down originally, "Oh, no, no, no," meaning not again. And then I said that again when I came to. I screamed, "Oh, no, no," and I ran, and I was shouting, "They've killed him, they've killed him, he's dead, he's dead." And I was told by the people in the Salinger press room that I ran towards to say, don't say that. Don't say that. Please don't say that. And I said, "No, he is dead. They've killed him." I thought he was dead because of the blood that I saw. The reason I said they killed him is because it was evident that there were 2 shooters. I had a feeling that it wasn't the Sirhan bullet. I mean, because it was like just several shots, but after they had already subdued Sirhan, the shots kept going on, and that's when I saw Kennedy fall, Senator Kennedy fall. And that's why I said they, because there's no way that you would ever hear shots from here and shots from there and say he. It had to be a they. Sitting on the stairs of the stage, I needed to be alone for a while, and a gentleman with a microphone came up, and he put a microphone right under my chin, and he said what happened, and I started to tell him, And I said there were, you know, he asked me about shots. I said, oh, yeah, there were at least 12 to 14, 10, 12, 14. And then he said, oh,